a little bit of a core in the middle without too much dirt. Otherwise we're going to use too much, and subtlety is always the key with this sort of stuff. So we have our small dirt, and I'm just going to lock off that fast blur. Just going to put it on 1. I'm going to grab both of those layers now, Control D, and on the top rename to Dirt Large. And I'm just going to isolate those 2 layers, or at least the dirt, because it's set up as a luma mat. And I'm also going to turn that fast blur down just so I can see what's happening. And in the fractal noise, what I want to do is bring the transform up in scale, just until we get some dirt that's a little larger on the screen. And we can also bring up the evolution settings or evolution options, and just change the random seed until we get a dirt pattern that we're happy with. And I think that one there is going to be fine. Just close this down, and now we'll just see what level of blur is required for that one to work. So I think out around 5 or 6 is going to be fine. We can switch on our other layers and see how that's working. And you can see there we now have the 2 distinct sizes of dirt on the lens, and as the camera moves we get the dirt, and it's working nicely. But I mentioned before that this effect is heavily reliant on the amount of light that's coming into the lens. And in the start of our footage we don't have as much light, or anywhere near as much light, as we do when the sun actually pops into our view. So we're going to emphasize this with a lens flare as well. And I thought, while we're here, I might as well show you a little trick to animating a lens flare, or animating an object that is off screen. And this is a method I use quite a lot. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hide my 2 dirt layers, and I'm just going to right click on my background plate, and I'm just going to go track motion, which brings up my tracker here. So I need to find a point that is actually visible throughout the entire clip, and I think any one of these little lake formations down here is pretty good. So somewhere up in here I think is going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is just go to frame 1 and drag over. I think I will go for this little double lake formation here. Something like that looks good. And I'm just going to track the footage. We don't need any rotation. This footage